The silent base. The old base stood alone at the edge of the desert. Tall fences leaned to one side. Rust covered the metal like dry blood. No lights. No signals. No sound. People in nearby towns avoided the place. They said machines once screamed there at night. They said the ground was poisoned. Some even said something alive still waited inside. But the new neighbors did not believe stories. The Carter family had seen worse places. They wanted cheap land and quiet days. The base was abandoned, the papers were clean, and the price was low. So they moved in. On the first morning, the base felt wrong. The air was too still. No birds flew overhead. Wind touched the walls, but made no sound. John Carter walked the yard with slow steps. His boots pressed into dust that looked untouched for years. Still, something felt watched. Behind him, his wife Mira held a scanner tablet. It showed no power, no heat, no life signs. Dead place, she said. Just old metal and dirt. Their teenage son, Leo, laughed nervously. Yeah, dead places don't usually feel like this. They ignored the feeling and went on. The main building was empty. Broken screens, cracked floors, old human military symbols faded on the walls. Deep inside the base, warning signs still glowed faint red. But no one noticed. That night, the silence broke. It started as a low vibration under the ground. Not loud, not fast, just breathing. Slow, heavy, painful. John woke up first. The bed shook slightly like distant thunder. Earthquake? Mira asked. John shook his head. No, this is different. The vibration came again. Stronger this time. Outside, dust fell from the fence. Leo ran into their room, pale. Dad, something is moving outside. They grabbed lights and stepped into the yard. The moon lit the ground in pale silver. At first, they saw nothing. Then the ground moved. The dirt near the far wall cracked open. A massive shape lay there, half buried. John raised his light and froze. A giant eye opened in the darkness. It was golden, old, filled with pain. The light revealed scales the size of shields. Skin cracked and dry with age. Wings torn and folded tight against a massive body. A dragon. An ancient dragon. Metal chains wrapped around his body. Thick, burned into his flesh. They glowed faintly, even after all these years. The dragon tried to lift his head. The chains pulled tight. The ground shook. Leo dropped his light. Mira whispered, This is not possible. The dragon's chest rose and fell slowly. Each breath sounded like stone grinding. His eye focused on the humans. His mouth opened slightly. A voice came out, rough, weak, broken. Human. John felt his heart race. This was no monster attack. This was a prisoner. The dragon did not roar. He did not threaten. He simply watched them, tired and silent. Around the chains, strange symbols glowed faint blue. Old human tech. Military tech. Mira stepped closer without thinking. John, she said softly, these chains, they're ours. John understood. Humans did this. The dragon's head fell back to the ground. Dust rose around him. Another breath. Slower this time. Leo swallowed hard. How long? How long has he been here? No one answered. John looked toward the base, toward the dark buildings and buried systems. This place was not abandoned. It was forgotten on purpose. Suddenly, deep underground, something powered on. A low hum spread through the base. Old systems woke up. Red warning lights blinked to life in distant towers. Myra's scanner beeped wildly. Energy spikes. Ancient signals try to reach space. John, she said, fear in her voice. We woke something. The dragon's eye opened again. This time it was clearer, smarter. He looked at the humans standing before him, at the lights, at the chains, and for the first time in decades, the dragon waited, not for death, but to see what kind of humans now stood before him. Chains that should not exist. Morning did not bring peace. The sun rose over the base, but the yard stayed cold. Light touched the fences, yet shadows did not move the right way. The dragon lay exactly where he had been the night before. Still chained, still breathing. John did not sleep. Neither did Mira. Leo sat on the steps, staring at the giant shape like it might vanish if he blinked. It did not. Up close, the chains were worse. They were not just wrapped around the dragon. They were part of him. Metal had melted into old scales. Some links passed straight through flesh and bone. Dark marks showed where heat had burned again and again. Mira scanned the chains. Her face went pale. "This metal doesn't age," she said. "It repairs itself." John clenched his jaw. "Human design?" "Yes," she replied. "Old, very old military tech. The dragons, I followed their movements. Slow, careful, like he was measuring them." Leo stepped closer, hands shaking. "Does it hurt?" he asked softly. The dragon did not answer at first. Then, in a voice like dry stone breaking, he said, "Pain is all that remains." The words hit harder than any roar. John took a slow breath. "Who did this to you?" The dragon closed his eye. Memories pressed against him like fire. "Humans," he said at last. "Long ago." The ground trembled slightly as he shifted. "They promised peace," the dragon continued. "They promised alliance." Mira looked at the base buildings. "They lied." The dragon opened his eye again. "Yes." John felt anger rise. Not fear, not shock. Anger. "Why keep you alive?" John asked. The dragon's claw scraped the dirt weakly. "They tested," he said. "My fire, my blood, my mind." Leo's fist tightened. "They experimented on you." The dragon gave a slow nod. "They learned how to bind dragons," he said. "How to break them." A sharp alarm suddenly echoed from a base. Everyone jumped. Old towers flashed red. Antennas rose from the ground, shaking dust loose. Myra's scanner screamed. "Automatic signal," she said quickly. "Emergency beacon. It's been waiting for life signs." John looked at the dragon. "You," he said quietly. The dragon did not deny it. "I was the key," he said. "My heart still powers the prison." The alarm grew louder. Somewhere far away, something answered. High above the planet, a signal was received. A dragon's signal. Ancient. Forbidden. The dragon's eye burned brighter. "They will come," he said. Leo swallowed. "Who?" The dragon looked toward the sky. "Those who remember," he said. "And those who want me dead." Mira turned to John, panic rising. "We need to shut the system down." They ran to the control room. Screens flickered on. Old recordings played by themselves. Scientists in white coats. Soldiers with fear in their eyes. A younger dragon on the screen. Stronger. Furious. Chains tightening. Fire screaming. Leo turned away. John watched until the end. The final log played. Subject remains alive. Termination postponed. Asset too valuable to destroy. John slammed his fist on the console. "Asset," he growled. Behind them, the ground shook. They ran back outside. The dragon was breathing faster now. The chains glowed brighter. "They are pulling power," Mira said. "The prison is waking fully." The dragon lifted his head with effort. "Listen," he said. "If they arrive, you must leave." John shook his head. "We're not leaving you." The dragon stared at him. No human had ever said that. "You do not understand," the dragon warned. "They will not ask. They will take." John stepped in front of the dragon's head. "Then they go through us." For a moment, the world was silent. Then the dragon laughed. Not loud, not strong, but real. "Humans," he said slowly, "you have changed." High above, stars shifted. Ships altered course. And deep within the dragon, something ancient began to wake up. Not fire, not rage. Hope. The choice that wakes legends. The base did not feel empty anymore. Even before sunrise, the air vibrated with unseen pressure. The old walls hummed softly, as if they were afraid. John stood in the yard, staring at the dragon. The chains glowed brighter than before, pulsing with slow blue light. The dragon's breathing was faster now. Each breath sent heat into the ground. Mira came running from the control room. Her face was pale. "The signal didn't stop," she said. "It's repeating. Stronger." Leo looked up at the sky. "Is someone answering?" The dragon opened his eye. "Yes," he said. "Many." John felt a cold weight in his chest. "How long do we have?" The dragon was silent for a moment. "Hours," he said. "Maybe less." A low sound echoed under the base. Not a machine. A heartbeat. The ground shook once. Then again. Mira whispered. "The prison is waking up." The dragon's voice dropped. "This base was not built to hold me," he said. "It was built to use me." John turned to him. Then help us shut it down. The dragon's eye softened. I cannot, he said. My life keeps it alive. Leo stepped forward. Then we break the chains, he said. The dragon looked at the boy. No human has ever tried, he said. John picked up a cutting torch from a storage shed. Old tools. Still working. Mira grabbed power cells. We'll overload the locks. The dragon watched them prepare. Confusion crossed his ancient face. Why, he asked. After what my kind did to yours. John did not stop working. Because you're not a weapon, he said. And because someone chained you. The torch cut into the first link. The chain screamed. A sharp blue flash lit the sky. Alarms exploded across the base. From the towers, defense guns rose from the ground. Mira shouted, John, the system thinks we're attacking. The dragon roared in pain as the chain tightened. Stop, he warned. It will kill you. John kept cutting. No, he said. It won't. The chain snapped. Energy surged through the yard. Dust flew. The ground cracked. The dragon cried out, not in pain. In shock. One chain was gone. Deep inside the dragon's chest, something old stirred. Fire did not come out. Light did. Above the planet, space bent. A fleet dropped out of warp. Black ships, marked with old human symbols. Behind them, something larger. Something alive. The dragon's eye widened. They found me, he said. And they brought hunters. Leo stared at the sky. Hunters. The dragon's voice turned cold. Dragon slayers. The defense guns powered fully. Red targeting lights locked onto the fleet. Mira screamed. This base is preparing for war. John looked from the ships to the dragon. If we free you, he said, can you fight? The dragon answered without hesitation. Yes. John nodded. Then we finish this. As another chain began to crack. The oldest dragon in the sector felt his fire return. And, for the first time in centuries, the galaxy faced a terrifying question. What happens when humans choose defiance? Over fear? When the sky answers back. The sky cracked open. Not with thunder. Not with fire. With silence. The stars above the base twisted, stretching like thin glass. Then the first ship appeared. Long black. Sharp-edged. It blocked the sun. Leo felt his knees go weak. There's so many. More ships dropped out of the sky, one after another. A full fleet. Old human war designs, mixed with alien tech. They hovered without sound. Watching. The dragon's body went still. Not from fear. From memory. They came faster than I expected, he said. His voice was no longer weak. It was deep. Steady. Dangerous. Myra's scanner exploded with warnings. Weapons online. Target locks active. John looked up at the ships. They're not here to talk. No, the dragon replied. They never are. A voice boomed across the base. Cold. Mechanical. Familiar. This is Human Recovery Command. Step away from the asset immediately. Asset. The word burned. John stepped forward into the open yard. His voice shook, but he did not stop. He's not an asset, John shouted. He's alive. There was a pause. Then laughter echoed from the speakers. Civilian occupants, this site is classified. You are trespassing on controlled property. Mira whispered. They never marked it active. The dragon lowered his head. They erased this place, he said, and waited for me to die. The chains around his body pulsed hard. One cracked further. Energy surged through the ground. Suddenly, the base defenses activated fully. Missile silos opened. Shield walls rose from the dirt. Old cannons tracked the fleet. The commander's voice returned, sharper now. Deactivate the base systems. Final warning. John laughed once. A short, bitter sound. You don't get to give warnings, he said. A smaller ship broke formation. It descended fast, landing beyond the fence. Soldiers poured out. Not human. Tall. Armored. Faces hidden behind black visors. The dragon growled low. Slayers, he said. They wear human flags, but they are not human. The soldiers advanced, weapons glowing. Leo stood frozen. Dad. John grabbed his shoulder. Stay behind me. The first shot fired. It missed. The base shields flared bright blue, blocking it. The soldiers stopped. Confused. They didn't expect resistance, Mira said. They thought this place was dead. John turned to the dragon. Can you move? The dragon tested his wings. Slow. Painful. Not yet, he said. 2 chains remain. The soldiers regrouped. Their leader stepped forward. You are interfering with galactic security, the soldier said. Release the asset. The dragon lifted his head high. I'm not yours, he said. His voice echoed across the base, across the ships, across space. Somewhere far away, ancient ears listened. The soldier raised his weapon and stopped. The dragon's eye burned brighter. Not with fire, with authority. I fought wars before your species had names, the dragon said. I burned stars for balance. The soldiers hesitated. John took that moment. He ran to the chains. Mira followed, rerouting power. Leo grabbed tools with shaking hands. The cutter hit the second chain. The chain fought back. Energy lashed out, throwing John across the dirt. Leo screamed. Dad! John rolled to a stop, coughing. He pushed himself up. I'm fine, he said. Finish it. The second chain snapped. The dragon roared. This time, the sound shook the sky. Fire spilled from his mouth, not wild, not blind. Controlled. The soldiers were thrown back by the force alone. Ships above adjusted position. Weapons charged. The commander's voice returned, panic now. All units, fire. The base answered first. Missiles launched. Cannons roared. The sky turned white. John stared upward in shock. This base, it's defending him. The dragon spread one wing. Broken. Scarred. Still powerful. Not me, he said. It is defending you. The final chain began to glow red. Overloading. Mira screamed. It's going to explode. The dragon lowered his head toward the humans. Step back, he said, or die with me. John shook his head. No, he said quietly. Not again. He placed his hand on the chain. Leo did the same. Mira joined them. 3 humans. One choice. The chain shattered. Light exploded outward. The dragon rose. Fully. Freely. The fleet fell silent. And across the galaxy, one truth spread like fire. The chained dragon was awake. And humans stood beside him. The fire that chose humanity. The dragon stood tall. Not just free, awake. His massive body rose above the broken base, wings stretching wide. Scars crossed his scales like old battle maps. Each scar told a story of war, betrayal, and survival. The fleet above froze. They had expected a weak prisoner. They saw a legend. The dragon inhaled slowly. The air burned. John, Mira, and Leo stood behind him, small shadows against the giant. The commander's voice returned, shaking now. All units, hold fire. The dragon laughed. It was deep, ancient, final. You remember me, the dragon said. That fear never leaves. One ship moved forward anyway. A Slayer cruiser. Its weapons glowed white hot. They will try, the dragon said calmly. They always do. The ship fired. A beam of pure energy ripped through the sky. The dragon stepped forward. Not fast, not rushed. The beam struck his chest and bent. It curved around him like water around stone. The fleet gasped. Impossible, Mira whispered. The dragon's fire was not burning. It was holding. Human chains taught me patience, the dragon said. They made me stronger. He lifted his head toward the fleet. I remember your kind, he said. You hunt what you fear. The Slayer cruiser fired again. This time, the dragon answered. He opened his mouth. Fire poured out. Not red, not wild. Golden. It cut through space itself. The cruiser vanished. Not exploded. Erased. Silence followed. Ships pulled back in panic. John stared, unable to breathe. That ship is gone. The dragon lowered his head slightly. I did not kill them, he said. I removed them. The base shook. Deep underground, old systems overloaded. Myra's scanner screamed again. The core is failing, she shouted. The base is about to collapse. The dragon turned. His eye locked onto the humans. This place will fall, he said. You must leave. John stepped forward. And you? The dragon paused. For centuries, he said, I waited to die here. He looked at the burning sky. Now, I must choose. The remaining ships regrouped. They formed a wide circle, charging everything. Leo grabbed John's arm. They're not leaving. No, the dragon agreed. They want revenge. The dragon lowered one wing. It touched the ground gently beside the humans. Climb, he said. John hesitated only a second. Trust him, Mira said. They climbed onto his back. The dragon spread his wings fully. Pain flashed across his face, but he ignored it. The fleet fired together. The dragon launched upward. The ground exploded as the base collapsed beneath them. Fire, metal, dust. They broke through the clouds. Above them, ships surrounded the dragon. Below them, the base was gone. A voice echoed in the dragon's mind. Ancient, familiar. You have chosen them. The dragon answered without turning. Yes. The voice faded. The dragon's fire burned brighter. Hold on, he said. He dove straight into the fleet. The sky became war. But this time, humanity was not watching. Humanity was riding the fire. When humans refused to kneel, space was burning. The dragon tore through the fleet like a living storm. Ships scattered in panic, engines screaming as they tried to escape. John held tight to the dragon's scales. Below them, fire and light filled the sky. They're retreating, Leo shouted. The dragon did not slow. No, he said. They are regrouping. Ahead, the largest ship moved forward. A command vessel. Black, silent, heavily shielded. The dragon stopped. For a moment, everything went still. Then a new voice echoed across space. Calm, cold, human. Ancient One, you survived. The dragons I narrowed. You sound like them, he said. The ones who chained me. We learned from our mistakes, the voice replied. This time we finished the work. The command ship opened. Not weapons. A gate. A massive energy circle spun in front of it. Myra's scanner went wild. That's a suppression field, she said. They're trying to shut him down. The field expanded fast. The dragon roared as pain shot through his body. His wings shook. Fire dimmed. John felt it too. The field locked onto the dragon's heart. You cannot fight what you do not understand, the voice said. The dragon dropped lower. The fleet closed in. Leo looked at his parents, terrified. Are we going to die? John shook his head. No, he said quietly. Not like this. He pulled out the base-controlled chip Mira had saved. They built that field for him, John said. Which means... Myra's eyes widened. It's human-made. She grabbed the chip. Then it has human weaknesses. The suppression field tightened. The dragon's voice was strained. You should leave me, he said. This is my burden. John stepped forward on the dragon's back. No, he said. You carried ours for centuries. Mira linked the chip to her scanner. Her fingers moved fast. Sweat ran down her face. I'm in, she said. Redirecting field control. The command ship reacted. Unauthorized access detected. Leo held his breath. Mira hit the final command. The field flickered, then reversed. The command ship screamed. Its shields collapsed. The dragon felt the pain vanish. Fire rushed back into his veins. He laughed. Humans, he said, you are dangerous. The dragon surged forward. The command ship tried to retreat. Too late. The dragon wrapped it in golden fire. Not destroying it, crushing it. The voice screamed once. Then silence. The fleet broke. Ships jumped away in panic. Space grew quiet again. The dragon slowed, breathing hard. John sat down, shaking. We won. The dragon looked back at them. No, he said softly. We survived. Far away, unseen eyes watched. New powers took interest. Old empires whispered the same words. Humans interfered. The dragon turned toward the distant stars. They will come again, he said. John nodded. Then we'll be ready. The dragon smiled. Not with teeth. With pride. Because for the first time in his long life, he had not fought alone. What the galaxy learned that day. Silence returned to space. Not the empty kind. The heavy kind. After something important changes. The dragon flew beyond the battle zone, far from broken ships and burning debris. Stars reflected across his golden scales. Below them, a blue world turned slowly. John, Mira, and Leo sat quietly on his back. No one spoke. Finally, the dragon began to descend. They landed in a wide valley hidden between tall mountains. No signals. No old scars. A place untouched. The dragon folded his wings with care. For the first time, he looked tired. "You are safe here," he said. John climbed down first. "What about you?" he asked. The dragon looked up at the sky. "I have enemies," he said. "And now, I have allies." Mira stepped forward. "You could leave," she said. "Disappear." The dragon shook his head. "I will not hide," he replied. "I did that once." He lowered his head to their level. "For centuries, I believe humans were broken," he said. "Cruel, small, afraid." Leo swallowed. "And now?" The dragon's eyes softened. "Now I know better." High above, hidden cameras drifted. Silent observers. Across the galaxy, recordings spread fast. Humans standing in front of a chain dragon. Humans cutting the chains. Humans riding into battle. Governments panicked. Empires argued. Old treaties were rewritten overnight. One message echoed everywhere. Humans did not kneel. The dragon sensed it too. "They are watching you now," he warned. Some with fear, some with hope. John took a breath. "We didn't do this to send a message," he said. "We just did what felt right." The dragon smiled again. "That is what makes it dangerous." He turned his head toward the stars. "My name was erased," he said, "but legends remember." The ground trembled softly as ancient power moved beneath him. "I will stand with you," the dragon said. "Not as a king, not as a god." He looked at the family. "As a guardian." A distant signal blinked on Myra's scanner. Unknown origin. Not hostile. Curious. Leo looked up, eyes wide. "What now?" The dragon spread his wings slightly. "Now," he said, "the galaxy learns what happens." A faint glow filled the valley. When humans choose compassion over control. The wind rose. Stars shifted. And far away, new stories began. Stories told in whispers. Stories told in fear. Stories told in hope. About the day an ancient dragon was freed. And humanity chose who it wanted to be.